Hey everybody, Dave Williamson here from the ToyCarCollector.com. The ToyCarCollector.com, your number one source on the internet. Well, maybe not number one. Your number two source on the internet for redline Hot Wheels. Your number one source on the internet for mint redline Hot Wheels. That is, when I can find them or when I let them go. I love those mint redline Hot Wheels. And of course, I love redline Hot Wheels in any condition. ToyCarCollector.com. I have been a seller and buyer. I've been a collector of redlines my whole life. I've been serious about it for 30 years, and I've had a buy and sell catalog for 25 years. So I am dedicated to redline Hot Wheels. So what I'm here to talk to you today about is the classic Nomad. The classic Nomad. Now let me get a copy of the Ultimate Redline or the Elite Redline Guide page out so you can see what I see when I look up the classic Nomad. This is a page from the Elite Redline Guide, which is the very best guide for redline Hot Wheels. Unfortunately, it is out of print, and to get a copy of it is really, really difficult. But let's take a look here at the classic Nomad. Let's see, let's read about it. How about that? Larry Wood has designed the classic Nomad. That's one of the reasons why he's super popular in the world of Hot Wheels. And it was a reproduction of the real 1.1-to-1 car. Its design was based on the 55 Chevrolet Nomad wagon, which was one of General Motors' top-of-the-line models. Although very similar to the real car, the hood scoops and a sunroof are added to this very popular Hot Wheels model. This model features clear windows, a detailed interior produced only in white, and came in a variety of Spectraflame colors. The classic Nomad was manufactured only at the U.S. plant and was issued approximately 2 years. It also came fully equipped with the medium-sized wheels on the front axle and large on the back. A flower decal sheet was included with each blister pack to randomly place on the classic Nomad as an option. Now let's look at the color chart here. The color chart indicates that there are 13 colors plus one gold, which is speculative, possibly a prototype or something on that order. There's a metal or a plastic button available and the decal sheet. Now they have a list here of colors by difficulty, so let's go over the colors a little bit. Give me a chance to review the cars in my collection and to see where my weak areas are and what I do not have, because there are cars I don't have. And to start with, green is number one on the list. Green is number one. Oh, by the way, this is my new rotating thing, so you don't have to see my hands all the time. I'm going to put the car on this rotating Lazy Susan, and let me tell you, it was not easy to find one of these. I guess they're not that popular anymore. All right, classic Nomad, as the Elite Redline Guide shows, green is supposedly the easiest color to get on the classic Nomad, but unfortunately I do not even have a green Nomad, so I'm going to have to make some effort to find myself some green Nomads. So number 2 on the list of difficulty is red. Here is a red classic Nomad. Let's see if we can get this to rotate. Let's see, let's put it in the center. I've not used this before. Let's try it out. Had to get my low slung tripod. Okay, here's the red Nomad. What do you think of that? That is a beauty. I've always collected the classic Nomads. I think most of my classic Nomads I bought in the late 90s or early 90s, back when things were a little more available. Now, if you notice, this one has quite a dark hood on it, but look at that shiny base. Now, these are insulation strips that I buy. I put those on there so that you can put it in the display case and they won't move around when the walls vibrate. So I put them on front and rear, and that keeps the car and doesn't do any damage to the base. Now this base is not super shiny. It's decent. I would call it decent, but it's got a little tarnish on it, and that's what happens when they get touched by your hands, greasy hands, over time. There's the motor, chrome underneath there. Quite a beautiful model, the classic Nomad. It is a US car, so the paint can be super shiny, or it can be trashy. It can have dark spotting. This particular one does not have any dark spotting, but it does have a dark hood. And that is the red Nomad. Next one up on their list of difficulty is number 3, Aqua. Let's look at Aqua. All right, here's the Aqua color, number 3 on the list of difficulty, going down the list from number 1 to 13, Aqua. As you can see, the back of the car is nice and bright. The roof is nice and bright. Little toning on the, mostly on the driver's side, I would say, but quite a beautiful car. Move that into the center. The Aqua. Isn't that nice with the shiny chrome? Now, the cars aren't actually as shiny and bright as they look in this video because I've got a massive amount of light. Got the camera brightened up a little bit, so it does enhance details a little bit. Let's take a look at the base on that. Look at that. That's nice. Shiny, shiny aqua. All right. Number 4 on the list, blue. Here's a pretty blue. Nice and deep. I've got a couple of shades of blue. You never know what you're going to find with a Redline Hot Wheel. This I would call the standard blue, your basic blue. Very nice. Very nice. How about one that's a little bit lighter? There's a lighter shade of blue. It's not a teal. It almost looks like that, but it is just a lighter shade of kind of a pale blue. And I think there's one darker. Look at this. Hey, this one's darker actually. So now we have 3 shades of blue. Look at that. And you see a bit of toning on that darker blue one. So there's 3 shades of blue. Now, under the light, the darker one doesn't look quite much darker, but it is quite a bit darker in real life than the other blue. Pretty neat, huh? Neat stuff. Oh yeah, neat stuff. I think I've had a chance to reconsider that lighter shade of blue. Maybe it's just a lighter shade of aqua. What do you think? Does it look like the blue? Like a lighter shade of blue? Let's put the blue in there. Is it a lighter shade of blue or is it a lighter shade of aqua? Or let's throw in a monkey wrench. Is it a lighter shade of teal? Because there is a teal, sort of an aqua teal in the classic Nomad. Is it that? Is it that color? What do you think? Leave a comment below if you have an opinion on what color that car is. It does. Depending on the light, it looks like a pale shade of blue or a pale shade of teal. Well, you decide. Number 5 on the list of difficulty, going up the scale from easiest to hardest, is lime. Lime, sometimes called lime yellow and sometimes lime. It depends on the shade. Now here's 2 shades of lime. One on the right has a toned dark hood. The one on the left does not. Let's move that out of the way. Let's focus on this guy. Lime color. Nice condition. Not perfect, but very nice. Take a look at that. Lime. An interesting color. Very difficult to get a clean lime colored car. Let's take a look at the base. Blue. Not touched. They can be this color right out of the blister pack, or they can be shiny, but they will never have this type of spots that you find from a car that's been touched. There's a shiny base. Most of the cars that I have collected have either been pulled from blister pack or look like they've been pulled from blister pack and have no use on them. Very nice. Lime. Next on the list is orange. Here's an orange Nomad. Now I've never found a mint orange Nomad, or at least I possibly didn't know I was looking for one when I saw one and passed up on it, but I sure would like to find a minty one. Here's an orange. Now under the lights this car looks really good. Without the lights it doesn't look really that great. It's got a lot of chipping on it, as you can see on the top there. Tires need to be swapped out. They're kind of worn looking. But under the bright light it does look quite nice. With a tire swap that would look quite nice in a display case with the some heavy lights shining on it. So there is the orange. That is the orange. Here's number 7 on the list of difficulty, light green. This is, I'm looking at my camera display right now, and it looks kind of like, it looks kind of dark. Hopefully in the real video it will look as light as it is. This is a very light green, and this one is a blister pack pole with a shiny base, and it is very difficult to find a decent light green pretty much on any car. Light green is just a difficult color to get a clean one in. And there it is. You can see the toning on the side there. You see that in there? It is so hard. Now the roof is nice. Typically on a Nomad, as long as the roof is real nice, I like it. But the sides are always a little toned. Look at that. You can see, like, especially the dark spot right there. And over here. But very nice light green. Light green is hard on pretty much anything, and sure, light green and yellow too. Yellow is a very difficult color. and they sure look nice. Look at that. All right, next color up is Rose, rated number 8 on a scale of 1 to 13. 8th place as far as color difficulty. Rose is quite a popular color because it can be very, very beautiful. This one is a real deep rose. Got a couple of rose nomads, this one and one more, and they are pretty. The rose nomad is a gorgeous, gorgeous piece. Maybe I should turn it this way. How about that? Look at that. Rose nomad. That is a beauty. Rose nomad. Rose. Beautiful. Beautiful rose. So what do you think of the turntable so far? This is a new thing. I went out to Fred Meyer this morning and picked this up. Cut out a piece of paper to make a circle, and then I cut out this cloth. The gray background tends to emphasize the colors better. If you use white or something, it just doesn't look that good. All right, there's the Rose Nomad. Number 9, Yellow Nomad. Yellow Nomad. Now, one thing about yellow nomads, or yellow anything, anytime I see a bright yellow car, I'm going to have it. I love the bright yellow. I love the bright yellow. Here's 3 of them. Look at that. Bright yellow. Yellow. It's just something about the yellow, especially when you got the bright lights on. And I do have a lot of bright lights here, and I suggest that if you've got your cars on display, don't leave bright lights on the cars, because that can possibly damage the cars. But whenever you want to show them off or you want to enjoy your cars, turn on some nice bright lights. It really helps to bring that chrome shine and sparkle out on the cars and make them look so beautiful. Now, of these 3, one of them has a very dark hood right there. Tone dark hood. And you try to stay away from that. You want to get a nice shiny, but you know, it's not too many of those for sale. At this point in collecting, it's hard for me to imagine even being able to find another yellow in this kind of condition, because like I say, most of my cars I bought potentially 20 years ago, even 30 years ago. So that is your Yellow Nomad. Now look at this beauty. Magenta Nomad. Ooh, magenta. Wow. Magenta is a gorgeous, gorgeous color. Look at that. That is pretty. Wowee. Magenta Nomad. Love that. Absolutely adore the Magenta Nomad. Now you can get a variety of shades in the Magenta Nomad. I have one other one in a super dark magenta. Look at that. Super dark. Whoa. I got no image stabilization. Look at that. You know, one of these days I got to get a professional camera. I'm still using my Galaxy Note 4. Does a pretty good job. Gets the point across. Look at that. Super dark magenta Nomad and lighter or normal shade Magenta Nomad. Wowee. Ooh. You know, the other day somebody asked me for a Nomad that I had for sale. It made me start thinking about Nomads. I had to go look at my collection, and wow, I was impressed. I have some beautiful cars. I don't get a chance to look at them that often because I'm awfully busy buying collections and selling collections of Hot Wheels, Matchbox, Johnny Lightning, things like that. I just love toy cars. I know you do too, no matter how old you are. Now, according to the book, the 11th car on the chart, going from easiest to get to hardest to get, is purple. I'm not sure I agree with that, because I do have several purples myself, and I've always got a purple for sale, it seems like. It is a very popular color, however. Everyone does love purple. And this particular one has got some of the original decals on it, which look real nice. Now, if you ever buy a car with original decals on it, I don't recommend you try to take them off, because it will do damage to the Nomad in particular. It's just not worth taking them off if they look halfway decent. I've messed up a few pink ones lately trying to get the decals off, so I don't recommend that. Most of them, I think I've got a couple of purples here. They're all about the same shade. Let's take a look here. This one may be a hair darker, and I think this one may be a hair lighter. Look at that. Purple. Purple Nomad. Don't you just love the Nomad? I do. I know you do too. And if you didn't love it before you saw this video, I know you love it now. Oh no, now you're all going to be on eBay looking for nomads, trying to beat me out of them. Oh well, I think I have enough already. Look at that, look at that. Oh my gosh. Chrome. There's my big old hand. There it is. Yeah, none of those are particularly super shiny, but they're all nice. The next color on the list is olive, and I do not have an olive I can show you, and I don't know why I don't have an olive. I must have had olive at one time. This is a couple of US cars that would represent about the color of olive that you would find on a Nomad. I know I've had one before, I just don't have one now. I don't know what I did with it. Anyway, this is an olive McLaren. These are both US cars, and this is an olive twin mill. Now I think when you find a Nomad in olive, or if you have a Nomad in olive, I believe the colors would be darker than this. More of a, this is olive gold. When you look at the olive colors, some of them tend towards gold, some of them tend towards green. And I think in the video here these are going to look more greenish, but that's what you would find. And according to the Ultimate Redline Guide, number 12 is olive. And the only one left is hot pink, so let's take a look. Alright, here's your hot pink. I don't actually have a loose hot pink in my collection. I have this loose one for sale on my list and catalog, listed on my website with this. I see a lot of hot pinks in this condition, chips and whatnot, a lot of toning. This particular one has a defective back window where it looks like it's partially rolled up there. I've got a couple of pink ones in the blister pack, but nothing loose. I've never got my hands on a really nice loose one. I bought a couple of blisters meaning to open them, but I just couldn't bring myself to do it. So here's the pink, and it is the most difficult color to get. There's also a gold listed, which is probably a prototype, speculative. I've never actually seen one. Some yellows look goldish when they get enough toning on them, but I've never actually seen a gold Nomad. If you've seen a gold Nomad, feel free to send me a picture. David at ToyCarCollector.com, of course. David at ToyCarCollector.com. And that is the classic Nomad. I hope you appreciate this video. Please subscribe to my videos. I got lots more videos planned, and lots more tricks up my sleeve. So if you have any questions, you can text me at 503-956-3708. ToyCarCollector@gmail.com. That's ToyCarCollector@gmail.com. You have a great day, and I hope you enjoyed my classic Nomad video for 1970. Bye now.